It was such a long time ago, when there were no kings, and when my great father's grandpa wasn't even born. Duke Paul and Duchess Maria ruled in the city of Murom. Duke Paul had a younger brother named Peter. He was a very cheerful boy who loved to ride horses, and his friends were just as cheerful. They loved to play catch with Peter and to fool around with the girls. But the girls didn't always get their jokes and splashed them with water. Paul was occupied with government affairs, like buying and selling things, so he would always come home late at night. His wife Maria would wait for him, but he was always at work. One day, a dragon, the enemy of mankind, appeared in the area. The dragon was flying and thinking about the evil things he wanted to do to all these folks. Maria was very sad, so she went out to stand by the window. The dragon saw how lonely she was, and he liked it very much. He couldn't wait to do something mean to her. He quietly snuck into her house and turned into Maria's husband, Paul, so she wouldn't know it was actually the dragon. Maria missed Paul so much that she didn't notice a thing. The dragon gave her a poisoned apple. Maria took a bite and fell unconscious into the dragon's arms. The apple fell down from Maria's hand until it reached the real Paul's feet. The real Paul ran into the room and hit the dragon with the apple. And the dragon said, "You can't kill me with just an apple. I will destroy you and your whole family." The dragon destroyed the city of Murom and started to live there. Suddenly, his brother Peter came and started thinking how he could help Paul. Peter said, "Brother, I will go around the world. There has to be someone who knows how to kill the dragon." Peter was walking down the road when an angel appeared before him. The angel told him a secret while no one else could hear. He said the dragon can be defeated with a magic sword. The angel took Peter to a church and gave him the magic sword. Peter took the sword, waved it in the air, turned into a warrior right away, and went to search for the dragon to defeat him. While the dragon was having fun in Murom, Peter ran into the palace and started to hit the dragon for hurting his brother. He beheaded the dragon. The dragon couldn't live without a head, so he died.
Peter was all covered with the dragon's poisonous blood. He got sick because of it and got boils throughout his body. Peter and Maria invited doctors from all over the world. The doctors checked his tongue and his throat, but unfortunately they couldn't cure him. One doctor remembered a girl called Favronia, lives in a village named Leskovo. She can cure Peter. So they went there. They met a rabbit on the road, but didn't pay much attention. When they came to Leskovo, Peter was feeling very sick. The rabbit came to Favronia and told her everything. Peter said to his servant, "Go and promise her that she will get anything she wants if she cures me." The servant came to Favronia and said, "If you cure Peter, you will get expensive gifts." But Favronia answered, "Let me talk to him myself." She asked Peter, "Will you marry me if I cure you?" He answered, "Go on and cure me. If you do, I will marry you." Favronia made a remedy from different herbs, blew on it, and whispered some kind words. She told the servant that they should anoint Peter's boils in the bath and he will be cured. Peter took the remedy and started to anoint himself. While Favronia was preparing for the wedding, Peter's boils went away and he was cured. but he didn't notice one last boil near his heart. He immediately forgot about his promise. Favronia heard a knock on the door and ran to it, thinking it was Peter. He was already gone, but left her some chests full of gifts. Favronia got very upset and asked the rabbit to give all the gifts away to the people. Peter went home feeling happy that he didn't have to marry. She wants to go from rags to riches, doesn't she? As soon as he said these words, he got covered with boils again. His servants got scared and ran to him, but Peter said, "I got punished for lying to Favronia. Take me back. If she forgives me and cures me again, I will marry her forever." The servants brought Peter into Favronia's home. "Go away," said Favronia to the servants. "Let me treat him by myself." She blew on the remedy once again, and the boils were gone. Peter was completely healthy. The angels came, and Peter and Favronia got married. This is how Favronia became a duchess. The wedding was a miracle because of her. When they got back to Murum, they celebrated with Paul, Peter's brother. People started saying mean things. "This peasant girl brought a rabbit into the Duke's room. Yuck!" But nobody else noticed, and everybody continued to have fun. The angels in heaven rejoiced because of the marriage. But then they noticed Duke Paul's time on this earth has come to an end. So they came down and took him to heaven. But Maria was very sad and went into mourning. According to the law, Paul's brother Peter had to become the new ruler of Murum. Favronia didn't get involved in her husband's affair, but Peter never made any decision without her advice. Together they decided to build a church in honor of Paul. Rich men were very unhappy because Peter took his wife's advice. But dinners at the Duke's palace made their mouths water. They loved to eat for free. Favronia invited him to dinner and served them bread. But rich men started to take everything from the table with their bare hands. They didn't behave. They ate, got up, and left without saying thank you. There was only crumbs left on the table. Favronia picked up the crumbs, but rich people saw it and said, "She is still a poor peasant girl, not a duchess." Favronia turned the crumb into bread, while rich men's wives picked on her. They started to scream at their husbands, "We don't want a peasant girl to rule." So rich men came to Peter and said, "If you want to be the Duke, find yourself a new wife." "Tell her by yourselves," said Peter. So rich men brought her chests with gold and told her to take as much as she wants to go away. "All right, I will leave, but first give me something that I want." "Take anything," they answered. Favronia said, "There's nothing that I want from you except for my husband Peter." Peter left the kingdom and the wealth behind, took Favronia's hand, and told her that nothing will ever break them apart. Rich men started to fight for the empty throne. They started to hit one another. Their wives ripped each other's clothes.
Meanwhile, Peter and Favronia were on a boat. There was also a man and his wife. He started to flirt with Favronia, and she understood what his intentions were. She called him and said, "Go and scoop some water from the side of this boat." Then she told him to drink that water and scoop more from the other side. "Does it taste the same? Or maybe it is sweeter on one side?" "It's all the same water, Your Highness," answered the man. "Then why did you forget about your own wife and started dreaming about someone else's?" Some time had passed, and the boat finally reached the shore. Peter got upset when he remembered he was left without his kingdom, and even without a dinner. But Favronia calmed him down. She said, "Don't worry. God knows what to give or take. Go to sleep. In the morning, you will get your kingdom back."
This is exactly what happened. In the morning, they saw the rich men hobbling and stumbling their way. They cried, "We are sorry, Duke. Forgive us. Those who want to rule killed each other. We are begging you to please go back to Murom with Duchess Favronia and continue to rule." Peter and Favronia forgave them and returned back. They ruled with love and kindness, not with anger and terror. They fed the hungry. They clothed the poor. They cured the sick. They loved each other their whole life and never broke apart. When they got old, they took monastic vows and asked God to let them die on the same day. Peter realized he was dying, so he started to send notes to his wife, asking her to hurry. Favronia was making an embroidered cover for their casket. When it was time, the angels took them to heaven on the same day, but even death couldn't keep them apart. They are still together in heaven. This is why they became patron saints of love and marriage. When two become one, the kingdom of God is already at hand. The end.